Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It's time for a tradition unlike any other. It's the Cy Young draft. Eno Sarris is here. Trevor Plouffe, the Californians. Let's talk ball. Christopher Sanchez.
Yoshida in the WBC.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. I am Jake Storielli. That is Trevor Plouffe. And the guest of honor today is Eno Sarris from Rates and Barrels, The Athletic, just the baseball world. I know Trev's crush on him kind of started with sandwiches and beer. And now we are here running back the Cy Young draft. So, Eno, how are you?
Yeah, I interviewed him once for a beer magazine when he was with the A's. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And we used to hang out a lot more in person, and now we're just so busy podding that we never get to do it. I just see you online. So
yeah, you can't travel that well with all these things.
What's going on with Rates and Barrels? I know you just recorded, and I know Brick Garoli, T2, Trevor May, Jed Lowry's involved. What's going on over there?
Yeah, we went to daily now, so we've just Mondays and Fridays a little bit more like news and fantasy, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays we chop it up with former big leaguers, kind of breaking down like mechanics and nerdy stuff. I kind of come with like I'm the analyst, energy, and like you should throw it here, and Trevor's like, I can't throw that pitch there. What are you talking about? And Jed's like, shut up about tilt. So
it's perfect.
It's good energy. And on Tuesdays we kind of like use a lot of the athletics writers and go to whatever stories they're doing. So we're having fun. We did a rebrand of it, and they gave us wardrobe balance, and they gave us clothes. Whoa. And they took us to Chase Field. We have like a professional musician doing our new intro music, and they took all these pictures of us, and just one funny little thing happened. Like, I don't know if you've done photo shoots like this, maybe like for your wedding or whatever, when like the photographer's like, smile more, smile less, smile with your teeth, smile with your eyes, like that stuff. Right. And so at some point he says, smile with your eyes, and I'm doing it. And he says, look at each other. And I look at Derek with the smiling eyes look. And he's like, whoa, stop it. I think that you look at your wife that way. I was like, well, at least I was, making love to the camera, I guess.
You were doing it. Oh, you have a wardrobe budget? That's what I got out of this.
Yeah. Hey, it's not super fancy. It's like Zara level.
Little Zara ad. Yeah, we have a sneaky one. Me, Trev, and Jomboy did a photo shoot for Apple one day. We're gonna have to dig out those pictures once a year, because we're in like matching outfits, kind of like the tones are the same.
Yeah, that's a little bit like us. Yeah, they like to do that.
Yeah. Trev looked great. Me and Jomboy, that was his most natural uncomfortable area. And for some reason, I ended up slightly uncomfortable, where that would normally be kind of a sweet spot for me. But okay. Some base.
So we've all sold out. That's fine.
Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go.
That's AI generated.
I love it.
I look like a toad that's come to life. Jimmy looks like an 1800s golfer.
They shouldn't have put you down low, dude.
That's kind of where I live. That's where I live, Poppy. All right, with that, what better way to tee up the 2026 Cy Young draft? We have to know where we're going. We have to know where we've been.
No, we don't need to talk about that.
John Mayer. Last year, Little Poppy took the belt. It's okay. I was coming off a last place finish the year before. That Paul Skeens guy helped me out in the first round. I don't know if you guys remember this, I took Shane McClanahan basically right after there was notification he got banged up.
Yeah.
I just played through it. I was a little salty in that moment.
I'm a little surprised, actually, given that I remember that's what I remember of our draft. But then it was me that it got hit by the injury bug the worst, I guess.
It wasn't a proud moment. I followed that with Snell, who missed time. Hunter Brown, who was my one player who had not received a vote in any Cy Young end-of-year voting. And then Zach Wheeler, my 5th pick, who got 1 vote last year. Eno, you had Crochet, who had never received a vote the year before, so I think you were trying to game the game there a little bit that way. Logan Gilbert, Corbin Burns.
How did I lose with Crochet? He almost won the Cy Young.
I know, and if he was named Scooble, does he win last year? We could talk about that another time if we want. Corbin Burns, DeGrom, and Cole Ragans, who got banged up, could see him this year. Could see him. I meant in this draft. And then Trevor had Scoobs, Roki Sasaki, deep sea fishing a little bit. Dylan Cease got the big contract. Chris Sale, and then Logan Webb, who got you 47 points late. So there's the graphic on the screen for the YouTube. And yeah, we go with the actual Cy Young points. We did think about adding a no Skeens Scooble rule this year, which I think could have added a nice element. But then Crochet's kind of in that conversation. So I think we're just going to do a speedy first round, and we've decided to go, I guess, reverse order from last year. That Eno, you have the guest of honor. I'm going to say you have to pick between Skeens and Scooble, but maybe you have a Crochet argument. I don't know.
No, I'm going to take Paul Skeens,
Okay.
and maybe it's just because I'm nervous about last year with how the injury just ran all through my picks. I'm going to take Skeens because I just get I think he's a hoss. He's just looks like a guy who's going to he's going to post those innings. Scooble has some injury history in his past. So if I'm going to be scared about anything this year, apparently it's going to be injury. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this without, an injured pitcher, but I'm going to try.
It's every front office. What's
yeah, right.
Can you tell us something about Skeens? Because Trev played in the league. I missed out a little bit, but like, what for Skeens this year? Like, what do we even look for? Like, what's next?
I think he's kind of trending towards a little bit of like a Yu Darvish situation where he's got multiple changeups. I think he might end up being one of the first guys to throw 3 changeups. I mean, he's got the splinker and the straight change. All he needs to do is learn the kick change. And, but what I like about him is it's a really wide mix, not to besmirch Crochet or anything, but he's like 3 or 4 pitch types behind Paul Skeens, so I would just look for mix. He's got to keep that velo high because the 4-seam doesn't have great shape, so he needs to have good velo on it. But I would just be really interested in hearing about what new pitches he's featuring this year.
He does seem just like a hoss, like you said. Like, he just wants the ball. He just wants to go to work. Love that about him, which leads me to my pick here. And I was trying to convince myself to go Garrett Crochet, and I wanted it to be a little bit of a hot take. Plus, there's a possibility that like the WBC, like kind of going this hard this early kind of scares me a little bit. And I do think Scooble is going to pitch again for Team USA after that first start against Great Britain. Ken Rosenthal, like, I think initially I was appalled by what he did, but eventually I think we're all going to thank him because he's going to be the reason that Scooble pitches again. That's true. But then I remember Garrett Crochet plays in the AL East, and I just think there's too many big bats there. And then I remember where Tarek Scooble plays in the AL Central, and there's less big bats there. So I am going to go Tarek Scooble. Is he going to go a 3-peat? Like, that's seems insane to me. It almost makes me want to, when I say it out loud, it makes me want to go Garrett Crochet, but there's just something about him. You talk about Skeens and being a workhorse. I mean, Scoobs last year, 199 and 2/3 innings. I bet he wants to get to that 200 mark this year. He's the guy. He's the pick. He's the number 2 pick.
Yeah. You laid it out pretty well. I guess, they hear my thoughts a lot. You got anything else on Scooble?
No, I mean, I do think that there could be a role in the WBC this year in, how injury, I think, I hate this. I don't even want to say, I already said it too much, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you aren't normally throwing at this high intensity at this point of the year. And you can ready yourself for that by starting earlier in the year. But, I mean, just watch Scooble kind of stomping around in the dugout. Like, that's not normal for March 9th.
That's a good point. And yeah,
it may just lead to some fatigue or something because, you normally March 9th, you're slapping butts and going to play some golf afterwards.
Can still do that. Yeah, I think for me, yeah, I just love where Scooble's personality has gotten to in the game is really fun for me. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see, is this going to just be kind of one of those crazy 2 to 3 year peaks, or how long can he kind of sustain whatever this is? Because it's so dominant, man. And it's so fun. And it, like the mock yelling at guys when they're rounding the bases and stuff. It feels like that perfect, I don't know, what you want competition to be. Trev?
He's kind of he's kind of got a little bit of Bumgarner in him a little bit, right?
Ooh, I like
A
that.
little bit.
He's got a little red assery in there.
There was a thought for me, like, okay, like, yes, he's going into his walk year. Is there any point where, he's going to be able to kind of coast into the offseason, but he won't be able to. I mean, the Tigers are probably going to have to win the division. I don't see a wild card coming out of the Central. Like, they are going to keep him the entire time unless something goes crazy wrong for them.
Yeah.
He's going to be there, and he's going to have to go through the end of the season full bore. So he's the guy.
Yeah, I guess maybe the other spin here is that maybe he puts together some sort of CC 2008 where we're like, he won the WBC, got the gold medal. Is it a gold medal? I don't know. They win the WBC. He carries the Tigers to Cy Young / MVP 4, and then they go in the playoffs. That CC season always blows my mind because he was just pitching every third day for the Brewers, just as a hired gun. I guess I can make the pick quick. Teaser. It's brought to you by MLB The Show. We're picking our Cy Young candidates and seeing how they stack up against their Diamond Dynasty ratings. Garrett Crochet, even if you're new to MLB The Show, he's pretty good in there. He's the third highest ranked starting pitcher, 11th overall. Led the AL in innings pitched and Ks per 9. Pretty good combo. So yeah, if you're a gamer, you already know that little leg kick adds a little extra to it. And just everything he throws. So go check out MLB The Show 26. Pre-orders available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, Nintendo Switch, rated E for everyone. Yeah, I'll stop doing this at some point in the draft, but like we said, these are kind of the big three right now throughout baseball. Is the next evolution for Crochet, is it finding another pitch? Because if your pitch mix is going to be slightly limited, that limits you, or what's next for him?
Yeah, I think it's that changeup. He told me over the course of last season, I talked to him a couple times about his changeup, and he said, I've been trying to find one. He said he didn't like the way the splitter felt. He said it hurt a little bit. So he wasn't, everyone was like, oh, he should be a splitter guy. He's like, he's 2-finger dominant. He's a fastball slider guy. He should learn a splitter. What he did instead was just, the distinction between what a splitter and what a changeup is kind of going away. We're getting just, you can move the fingers along the ball in places that look kind of like a splitter. So I think he just found a place this offseason where he can throw something that has great movement and doesn't hurt. So, this changeup that he's throwing right now could be the separator. But these guys are so good that it really is just about, innings. Maybe a tiny bit of luck when you're trying to differentiate between the two. I voted for the AL Cy Young, and I actually now that I say that.
Oh, insider trading. Oh, no.
No, I would never do that. I would never do that. But I actually, for a second, thought about voting for Crochet because Baseball Prospectus's numbers, which account for the quality of opposition, had Crochet as better than Scooble.
That's, again, I said it in a clickbaity 5'7" dude who does a podcast way, but like, I don't know if just you switch the names and Scooble was coming off winning the Cy Young, it just would have been an interesting convo between, kind of marking yourself on baseball history, a back-to-back Cy Young winner. I don't think it landed there. I do think Scooble's season was a little better, but I don't know. Maybe an interesting thought exercise for those at home.
I don't know how much to value like sense of opposition because it's not like Scooble chose.
Right.
He just he's just playing the what's handed him, So
0.83 whip for all right, so now the draft basically begins. We basically teed up the whole episode. So in a way, did I finagle the one pick? People are saying. Let's see. I don't think I have a couple options I like for guys that haven't received a Cy Young vote. I guess, do I need to fade Crochet or Skeens or Scooble at all? No, I think I'll go. I think the next guy who stands out for me, and I think it comes down to innings and health a little bit, I'll go with Christopher Sanchez. He's been an iconic figure on this show because Trev saw him in person one time and said, I think he was at that time listed 6'4", and I think he's now listed.
He was listed at 6'1".
He's listed at 6'1", which I think we've debunked that myth. Man, he's just amazing. I think he gets overshadowed because we know the other guys in that Phillies rotation just a little better. But what he has turned into in this league, and hey, I guess you could play a WBC card with him if you want. Last year, am I seeing an 8B WAR? Like what? I know that's probably not the first pitcher number we jumped to, but 32 starts, the 202 innings. I love after 181 the year before that. Christopher Sanchez.
I thought you might go Hunter Brown there, but I knew if it wasn't him, it was Christopher Sanchez. We do love what he's able to do. I think that his lore is only growing, and there is something, and I'm not going to put you on the spot like Jake does, but there is, there is something about left-handed pitchers in this league. And when you have dominant lefties, there's something that hits a little different there. They're kind of rare. So when you see one, I mean, look, we have 3 of the top 4 picks right now are these left-handed starters who have just kind of separated themselves from the masses. They're so rare. We used to talk about in the big leagues, if you throw, and Glenn Perkins said this to me one time and it stuck with me. He's like, if you throw 90 and you're a lefty, you're going to have a job for a long time. I think the velos probably went up on that a little bit. But when you watch this guy throw, I mean, he's just different.
Yeah, we had to, in the Stuff Plus model, which just looks at the shapes of pitches and spits out a quality like shapes and velos, we had to actually put our finger on it and say, is lefty worth more? Because we just found that, it wasn't lining up right. We had to, with results and stuff. So yeah, lefties, and I've asked a bunch of people about it. Riley, said I think with the 3 batter rule, we don't see as many situational lefties, in the league anymore. I think that also with pitch design, the thing that we're getting to the most right now is changeups. I think they're improving the most right now with pitch design. And so that's something that can help the lefties neutralize righties. But we're seeing some of the best numbers by lefties ever. And I'm now jealous. You guys both have lefties and I don't have one.
Well,
I need a lefty.
There was an article that just came out, and I'm gonna zoo it, so I won't even. I'll just kind of paraphrase what's going on. They were just talking about how they believe that spin isn't really how hitters are picking up balls, even though that's a common theme when you talk to hitters. Hey, I saw the spin, saw the lack of spin, whatever it is. But it's more about body orientation, and I'll go old school. When things look different, you're able to pick up pitches. That's been around forever. When you have a tall lefty like that, you just don't see a lot of them. And so it's going to be a little bit more deceptive. Your ability to pick up the baseball is going to be off. It's coming from just a completely different spot than you're used to looking. So, I mean, that obviously helps with a guy like Sanchez.
Yeah. Yeah, that it was something that came out of cricket a long time ago, but it's been sort of recently reaffirmed, is that pre-release information is more important than release and post-release. Which
when guys would always say, I pick it up out of the hand, I'm like, good for you, dude. I don't.
That seems really late, right? There's a lot of information before that,
And the spin thing, I also, I mean, I think you can pick up, and this goes against this article that I read. I think you can pick up changeups and splitters, and that is out of the hand and spacing on the ball and just lack of rotation. I feel like
finger sometimes.
Yeah. And
But
again,
people
that's
talk about the
probably
red
body
dot
weight.
on sliders, right? That's a spin thing.
See, that to me, man, I don't know.
You never
That's
saw
more
that?
of I always thought it's arm action. So if your body looks the
Mm.
same and you're whipping the arm through the release point, like that's doesn't matter if there's a red dot on. I'd never pick that up like that.
Oh, so that's another one for pre-release information right there.
Yeah. I am going to go righty. Screw these
There you go.
lefties.
Okay.
I'm going to safe pick here, and it's a guy that I did pick last year, but a guy that just consistently throws over 200 innings. I'll read you the last 4 years: Cy 11, Cy 2, Cy 6, Cy 4. Like I'm getting points this year with my guy who's also a dog. Wants the ball in Logan Webb. I mean, he's just a guy that is going to be there, who's going to give me value in this draft. And honestly, I respect his game. Like 200 innings doesn't mean 200 innings like it used to. It means like 250 innings, basically. The new benchmark is 175 innings, in my opinion, is like that's the new 200. So the fact that this guy is able to do that consistently is just a real testament to what kind of pitcher he is.
Yeah.
You have
the
a
highest
relationship
floor in the
with him,
game.
right? Am
Yeah,
I
that
dreaming
was-
that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had a
He's
what?
we had a child. We had a child together.
Well,
No, we no. There's just there's this awesome the way that the clubhouse is in San Francisco. He's in the corner, and they put all the starters around him. And there's usually like one empty stall or whatever, you know. So there's like just space there, and he's the kind of it's the pitcher's corner, and it's just my favorite place to be in the world, almost. Because we're just like they're just chopping it up. Like he's I don't know if people give him enough credit for being smart about pitching the way he is. So he's on top of like recent trends. He's talking about different machines and like rehab things and what people are doing, and he's got his own theories. He's a really smart dude, and I think he's got the highest floor in the game. It's a great sinker, great changeup, great park. It's just it all comes together, and he's posting innings, and he cares a lot about health. So I think that's a really good pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's known like everyone thinks of him as a ground ball pitcher, but 26.2 K percentage last year is the second highest of his career, so he's figuring that out as well. I mean, he just kind of does it all.
It's crazy. The fact he was 192 innings, 163 strikeouts in 2022 to last year 207, 224. It's a credit to everything you just said, and he doesn't get. We still think like Logan, watch your hands on the sinker, and it's like, man, he kind of does it all. You get back-to-back picks.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Sure.
I just think he's got this nice pitch mix. He's got a Dodgers team that's going to get him wins. And in terms of injury, anybody could go down. Maybe he could. He's been fairly clean so far. But what is interesting about the Dodgers is that rotation needs somebody to kind of post, like you might give Shohei 130 innings, 140 innings. Blake Snell's going to get, your 110, Sheehan, you're going to give 122. Somebody needs to step forward like Yamamoto did last year and give him 160, 170, 180 innings. And part of the Cy Young thing is having enough innings. That's the hardest about picking someone who's never had votes before. Is that, you got to pick somebody who maybe hasn't had the innings so far. But I'm tempted with my next pick to go for somebody who doesn't have votes yet, but I want my gams, I want my thighs, I want my quads. So Hunter Brown, come on down.
Yeah.
I want my big boys. That's how I'm going to avoid injury this year. I'm just gonna put Yamamoto between two real big boys and hope everyone stays clean.
Those are two great picks right there. Yamamoto, Cy Young 3 last year. Hunter Brown saved Jake in the draft. Two studs right there.
He doesn't like the characterization there. He won the draft.
Oh yeah, I guess you're
You
right.
Phrase that pretty differently. I just went Hunter Brown listed 6'2", 220. Thoughts?
It seems bigger than that.
Okay.
My head, he's bigger than that.
And I was going to mention this with Crochet. Him and Judge, I have as 1-2 just biggest body boys in the game. Who am I? I guess I haven't seen Skeens in person. Who else am I missing? I know.
Big boys in the game.
I just like there was a lot of things we can measure. Just like overall like thickness, height, and size. Like Judge, like when Judge first came to the Yankees, it was Judge and Stanton, and then you saw them side by side, and you're like, oh my God, like Judge is so much thicker head to toe. And the only guy I've seen built like Judge is Crochet, and he might be a little bigger and just like pitchery. That I don't know. I have those as the 1-2 in the game.
I think Shohei has a big presence about him as well. Like he's bigger than you think he is.
Yeah, he definitely is. Felix Bautista is a mountain, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
literally his nickname, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Then there's the big shortstops that I don't think they fit as much because they're lankier and skinnier, but like Ellie and O'Neal Cruz.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I haven't. Felix is a good one. He's been missing for a little too much. Come back, big fella.
There was some concern with Hunter Brown in the second half last year. The strikeout minus walk wasn't as good, but his ERA was exactly the same in the first and second half. And I think if you're a pitcher where you're getting the exact same results and your strikeout minus walk isn't quite as good, like I don't think you're motivated to change that much. You're just like, no, it's working. What do I need to care? But he does have a fastball heavy mix, and he's talking about working on his curveball this spring. He's using it more. He's striking guys out more in the spring. And I've always just thought that his breaking balls are really good. And so if he does run into any trouble with the fastball heavy approach, I actually think he can just go to the breaking balls. So I think he has, second and third acts in him. I don't think last year was the best he'll ever do. In other words,
love it, Coach.
I think I'm going to go with my guy who's never received a vote, and I'm in between two guys. I have the pick, but I was in between two guys. I was thinking of going Trey Savage, but there's one guy I like watching more, and he's got a bigger repertoire, which you kind of just alluded to. Like, I think that's kind of the way that, especially with pitch design, and I don't want to say how easy it is now, but it's a lot easier than it used to be. Mm-hmm. Noel McLean threw 6 pitches last year.
Wow.
Nice.
9%, but still, like what I always say, like you get to that 10% mark, it's something that you have to look out for. And when you watch this guy throw, I mean, he looks dominant. He's on Team USA right now. In 8 games last year, a 206, a 104 whip. Like he kind of like looks the part. I like the low arm angle that he's got. Like he just kind of, everything's deceptive. And that breaker right there is absolutely filthy. So again, you mentioned like somebody needs to step up. Someone needs to step up in this Mets rotation, and him and Freddie together, I think will be really, really special. I am worried about innings and if they try to limit some, because that's what organizations tend to do. But I don't think they're going to be in a position to do that this year. I think this is a team that's going to be fighting for a playoff spot, and I think he's going to be a big part of if they get in. So I'm going to go Noel McLean here with my guy who has never received a vote.
Nice.
Yeah. He kind of feels like he's from a different era a little bit. I don't know if it's the goatee, but like I feel like I expect him dueling against Jack Morris or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my analytics.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that thing moves.
Pitches we're looking at right now are filthy.
Yeah, that's the best spin rate on a curveball in baseball, and yeah,
silly.
Crazy sweeper.
This episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. The MLB regular season is it's almost here, people. And not to mention the NBA is actually in a real fun spot right now. NHL March Madness, it's going to be a fun month. And the World Cup this summer. And that's why we want to give a shout out to our friends over at SeatGeek. 35 million downloads, 70,000 listed events. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. Scale of 1 to 10. Green means good, red means bad. You got it. You just learned how to use the app. And you just learned how to save 10% using code TALKIN2026. That's TALKIN2026. 10% off any tickets with TALKIN2026 at SeatGeek, whether you've used one before or you haven't. So download the app, punch it in, go check out SeatGeek. Nolan McLean was one of the guys I wanted to leave the draft with the no Cy Young votes. Good job, Trev. Hey, we came up with our own theory on this show. I mean, I know we're 10 years away from taking over the Rockies, and Eno and Trevor May figure out how to pitch in Colorado, and you guys knock yourselves out. Let's keep running the lefty theory. I'll go with Mackenzie Gore. I think the breakout happened. I think he just ran out of steam. Obviously, there's the clear line in his splits last year. I think it was his first 19 starts. Dominance, the crazy strikeout numbers, and then literally went on the IL. I think it's just like sore arm, just like tired, which makes sense. And okay, as that can be equal parts scary, we can kind of do that for any pitcher. And hey, again, you're the guy with actual data that backs stuff up currently on the show, but like Texas just feels like a place to pitch and not hit right now. I don't know if that's going to turn. I don't know if the cement's going to dry in the stadium and we'll tell a different story, but feels like guys pitch there. You mentioned the pitching corner in San Francisco. The pitching corner in Texas seems pretty goddamn cool. That I'll take a chance on Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah, there's a fascinating thing going on there because Texas is becoming more pitcher friendly with every year. And so you would think it's a dome. How is that happening? Par factors aren't supposed to work that way. But my working theory right now is that domes make outfield defense easier because there's less wind, and you're not trying to adjust to the wind. And with that, we know that recently outfield defense has gotten even basically outfield batting average to the outfield has gone down more than batting average to the infield in the era of shifts, right? So the outfield shifts are actually been more effective than infield shifts. And so you put those two things together and you can say, oh, okay, they've really dialed in how to defend the outfield in Texas. And that's made it a pitcher's park. That's my working theory right now.
I love an outfield shift ban because we want to see these just like the same thing as we do in the infield. We want to see these guys make plays. We don't want to see them just standing there catching a pop-up. Some of the most electric plays in baseball are when outfielders are on their horse going after a ball in the gap. But until that happens, I'm interested in that theory though. Why is this? Because no sun and no wind element? Is that why you're saying that for the outfielders?
Yeah, I mean, we also see a stuff plus benefit. So pitchers' stuff is better in domes because there's no crosswind for them.
Yeah,
there's that affects them. But I would, listen, I've never been a major league outfielder, but I would assume that you see it in the way sometimes pop-ups are tracked. Like you saw it probably in Oakland sometimes when you're. That ball gets up high and you think you're running this way. And then you start, you see it sometimes you're watching a guy track along that they're going one direction. They come all the way back. That's all wind. So I figure it's gotta be easier if you don't have to do all that. Plus,
it's more of a sure read. If you're in a dome, it's a sure read. And if you're playing in the elements, whether, some people don't believe in high skies. I'm telling you that's real.
Arizona it's like a white sky, it's like blue, but it's white. It feels like just really glaringly cloudless and just like one color in a way that might be hard to. We were looking at it. The Reds were just biffing balls left and right in the outfield, and we were just like looking up at the sky being like, that looks daunting up there.
It's been in the news a lot. Who said it earlier today or earlier this season that we need to take a look at? Is it Tommy Pham? Did he say that?
About what?
About wind and sun and how we need to bring that into defensive metrics. I think it was Tommy Pham. So
it was, yeah. We wrote a piece called Pham Graphs.
Yes, exactly.
about all the things that Tommy Pham questioned about the stats. I mean, he blows up my phone on the regular, just being like, sprint speed sucks. It's a hustle stat.
Can you tell Tommy Pham that me and Jake both like him a lot, and we're
in high school all over again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, it's just funny because he's got legitimate gripes with different stats, and there it is. I've got a big story coming. I'm working on a big story right now that came from something he said too. So. He's got because he's like, speaking of like clubhouse stuff, like, some people I think that people don't like Tommy Pham in the clubhouse and stuff, and he's made some poor decisions in his life, but he's also really smart when it comes to baseball, and he's so smart that he he understands all the metrics, he understands all the tech, but he questions all of it. And he does it in a public way that involves his teammates so that they all get smarter and just they consider things they would never have considered in terms of training. And they start to be critical of even stats that are given to them. I mean, he can be maybe a handful if you're a coach, but if he agrees with you, then he'll spread that gospel, he makes every clubhouse smarter.
Isn't that what we need for progress in society? You can't just go along with things. You got to question them. Let's go, Tommy fam.
Yeah.
We finally hit that point of the program. Hey man, whatever. Had a 1 WAR last year, age 37, got on base at a 330 clip.
Back to what you're talking about. Gore was in front of the worst defense in baseball last year.
Like that.
I don't
like that for him, but I like it for this year.
Yeah, and now he's in a place that's way easier to defend. He's a fly ball guy. It's a great pick. I mean, they're also, he's going to go from a place that's not known for its pitching, pitch design, pitch coaching, and they're trying, they're getting better. But I could see him making a couple tweaks and then just really just being better because the defense behind him is better and all the other things are better.
Okay, great pick by me. Everyone agrees. I was thinking, I almost went righty for a second, and then I remembered the new theory. I'll double up. I just flip-flop between two guys. You know what? I'll play some stadium factor here. I don't know if I believe in it, but I'll go Framber Valdez. If I'm looking for innings, if I'm looking for lefty, if I'm looking for from Houston to Detroit over a given year, he's got his old dogs, Hinch and Verlander, looking over him. I don't know. I'm honestly, the lefty theory is a partial joke. Mostly I'm playing the innings there. Like, Framber's going to go out there, he's going to bang that curveball, and he should rack up numbers like he does every year.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some things in common with Logan Webb in terms of just super high floor and, good stuff and better strikeout rate than you expect from a guy with like a 68% ground ball rate.
Yeah, we went back and forth on this. I talked about this a lot with Chris Rose. The fact that more head coaches weren't just like banging on the table to sign Framber Valdez, because I do believe, and tell me what you think. Do you think he got knocked because of this, like, what we'll call like attitude issues last year, crossing up his catcher? Do you think he got knocked in free agency because of that?
Yes.
Like, I think teams were out on that, right? So if I'm a head coach, my job is to manage men. That's what you do as a head coach. The fact there weren't more guys being like, I want that guy. He's a dog when he's on the mound. I can make sure he's not an asshole in the clubhouse. But
look at the guy who did bang the table in the end for him, a guy who had him before.
Yeah, so he knows him.
Right. So I think, it hurt him a little bit, but he ended up where he was because of the comfort factor there with his manager. But one piece of evidence I can have that it mattered is that they put out, his agency put out a video, and you often put out videos, hype videos where you're like, look at how awesome my free agent is. But their hype video spent 2 minutes about how awesome their free agent was, and literally 35 minutes on how good of a person he was.
Yes. We talked about that a lot, but I'm just saying, basically I'm just calling out all the managers who didn't step up, because this guy's a stud.
Yeah. Have some faith in your managing abilities, right?
Yes.
So funny. The guy with one of the most fun, curveballs when it's right. 35 minutes of, yeah, but he's friendly.
What is it just B-roll of him walking around shaking people's hand? What
it is. It's so much of it. It's all the stuff in the. It's him back home. I did. I saw it. Yeah.
You saw it?
Yeah, because they took it down.
They
took it down after we put it in our story.
That's funny.
We had it linked in our story.
I would have watched that from start to finish, no doubt. How did I miss?
Oh, it's him with his barber. He's getting a haircut. It's him walking down the neighborhood, shaking hands and stuff. And it says that he was so poor, and it shows his childhood house and stuff. And it sort of gives the idea that some of what you're reading is just, him being super intense and being, having overcome all of this to get to where he is, that you're just misreading him. And I think to some extent that could be it. I mean, one of the things that he did, even in that moment where he crossed up his guy, his catcher on purpose.
Allegedly.
I don't know. Maybe it really looks like it. But one of the things he does that makes everyone sure that he did it on purpose is he turns around and like shows his back to the catcher. But apparently he'd been coached on his countenance in games because he's gotten mad at other players and stuff, and he's gotten mad at, so he's actually gotten some psychological counseling about like if you're in this moment, like breathe, get off the mound, walk around, try to get back out of the moment, try to just like, so maybe he was kind of doing his like, I need to chill out. Obviously I need to chill out, so I'm gonna, and not so much like I don't give a crap about that human being, but I just think he's a really he like is an intense competitor that loses it sometimes, and there are plenty of people like that.
We always root for guys for random reasons on this show. The reason we started noticing Framber, obviously he was doing well when he was younger, but he had the smallest glove I've ever seen on a pitcher. So he like latched on to that. We're like, here's Framber with a tiny glove, and then he turned into who he kind of turned into. So we've been huge fans of Framber from the get-go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was just hilarious. I'm glad you picked him though, Jake, because I think I know who you were going for.
Oh,
and I'm gonna take the safe pick right here. I'm going all safe, bro.
Good for you.
I'm going with a guy who's my friend, who I've known for a long time, who gets ground balls, who doesn't allow homers, who is experiencing some of the best velo of his career right now, and that's my good friend Max Fried. I'm sticking with the lefty mark. Like this he's an absolute stud. He doesn't get enough credit for how fucking good he is. I know he got the deal. He got some money, but I don't think people that you just don't see him constantly in the best pitchers of like the year or like this decade. You don't see him in those conversations a lot, and I think he should be. The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I was just really impressed with how much the Yankees, had for him when they got him. I mean, he changed his curveball, which he's thrown forever. His curveball was different. His sinker was different. His changeup was different. Like they had a lot of little tweaks, and it may just look like he was the same as ever last year, but he was even better actually under the hood.
Yeah,
so good.
It was awesome getting to watch him pretty much every start. And yeah, I mean, finished Cy Young 4 and Cy Young 2nd in 2022. But yeah, Trev, where I get caught up, and I use these numbers to butterknife Brandon Woodruff normally to show how good he has been. But yeah, if you do starting pitchers since 2020 who have had over 100 starts, Max Fried has the best ERA. It's 2.82. It's him, Burns, Kershaw, Wheeler, Skubal. So I know it's not predictive, but I like my pitcher to have that stat. You get your 4th round pick and then your final pick of the draft.
Okay, well, I'm nervous about this, not from a standpoint of how good they are. I'm just nervous that there's been a little bit of like one had a forearm strain. Forearm strains are, predictive of worse stuff. And the other guy's been, had little things here or there. And they're on the same team. But they get me a guy who's never gotten votes before and a guy who has to be considered one of the favorites for the Cy Young. So I'm going with Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu.
Nice.
That's my combo. And I love them for different reasons. Gilbert has almost a 7.5 foot extension. He's just like putting the ball in your face off the mound. I think he's really developed a persona. He talks about he has this name for that. He's Walter on the mound on game days and stuff. So he like adopts this demeanor on game days, and he's kind of a fierce competitor on game days, and he's just the nicest dude otherwise. And he's got this splitter, that I think is just a really amazing pitch. And then Brian Wu I don't think there's another pitcher in baseball like Brian Wu, actually. He basically throws his 2 fastballs 80% of the time, and he plays them off each other with excellent command. So Wu's a little bit different than anybody else. I just think that he can maybe take the breaking balls another step forward, but it's just amazing command, and nobody's figured it out yet. So I'm going with Wu and Gilbert, and I'm going with the Mariners.
I got an update from our rules committee. Both have received Cy Young votes.
When did Wu get votes? I looked at last year.
Last year. Last year, he was 5th in the Cy Young.
Okay. All right.
So I'm sorry.
All right. I will take Woo out.
Woo out.
And
no, I need
you can leave in the stuff about being nervous about health and stuff, but I'm not nervous about the stuff. I have 4 guys projected for a sub ERA this year: Skeens, Scooble, Crochet, and Chase Burns.
Wow, okay.
I like Chase Burns. I thought that's where you were going with when you said you got a guy who has
Burns and
votes.
Green.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Lodolo and Green.
Oh, that's good. That's good too.
Because
the Reds are good.
Hunter now is dealing with a little forearm stuff.
Right.
I think it's just bone spurs, right? Hopefully.
Yeah. The Burns is. I told Burns that, and he was like, "Let's go." Always good to butter him up with a stat, dude.
When he was doing that stuff at where did he go to? Vanderbilt, Wake Forest.
Yeah,
he went to Wake. When he was doing that stuff in college, I always say this: I'm like, these guys, they have no idea. They're going to come in a pro ball. They're going to get lit up. And they're not going to be acting like this because it's just different in pro ball. The guys won't let you do that. And now that I'm like rooting for him to be that guy, I think I've just gone absolutely so soft in my old age. I go the opposite way of when you're an old head, you're supposed to be like, no, man, back in my day. Now I'm like, dude, like I want to see that out of this guy because that's just who he is. That's how he pitches. So I want to see him do that. He's one of my guys to look out for this year too. I think he does have electric stuff. That entire Reds staff, I mean, if Hunter Green is healthy, they have a real nice shot this year. So I like that.
And Burns has like kind of like the Spencer Strider fastball slider dominant, those two. But he has been throwing a kick change. I don't think it's actually new, but I think he's just throwing it a lot this spring to get a better feel on it. I mean, I would like him over time to expand the repertoire. It's really hard to get. To keep going as a fastball slider guy, but those 2 pitches are so good, and you get a little bit of fire out of him still. You want a little more.
We talked about
look at that. Come on,
those last 2 pitches are unfair.
We talked about like I was mentioning earlier about like just like arm action and what it means to a hitter. Like when he's coming at you and he's throwing that fastball to that slider, it's the same arm action. It's just so intense. It forces you into some bad swing decisions because it just gets you ramped up. There's so much coming at you. That's why Scooble is so good too. It's like it's like a freight train coming at you, and it gets you a little jittery in the box where like it makes you make bad swing decisions. You speed up because they're sped up. And in reality, as a hitter, you're always supposed to tell yourself like the faster that he's going, the slower you need to be. It doesn't work that way. You just end up getting sped up, and I'm a big Burns fan, so I like that pick.
Hope he's got the innings.
Today's episode is sponsored by Hims. Hims can't help you fold a fitted sheet, but it can help with your performance in bed. Take control of ED with personalized treatments prescribed by licensed providers 100% online through Hims. You can access personalized prescription treatment options for ED if prescribed. This isn't one-size-fits-all care that forgets you in the waiting room. It's your health and goals put first with real medical providers. To get simple online access to personalized affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/talkin. That's hims.com/talkin for your free online visit, hims.com/talkin. Featured product included compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details and restrictions. And important safety information. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Trev, your final pick.
You know where I'm going with this one.
Do.
I have to have my Minnesota Twin on the roster, my off-season hang pal. Did we have coffee a few times? Yes. Did I set him up with an entire off-season program? Yes. My guy, Joe Ryan. I hope he's with the Twins all year. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he ends up getting traded this year. Let's hope not. But he's going to be pitching well. Like, just those strikes. He's just got that kind of that low arm slot. He can work the top of the zone. It's a pitch that plays, especially with a guy that has his command. So I'm just in on Joe Ryan. I feel like he just had a baby. He's had success in the league. I think his confidence, I know it's already high because he's just a stud. It's at a new level this year. I think he's going to hit some heights that we haven't seen from him. So, yeah.
You called your shot on that one.
gave his off-season workout plan. If I'm a Twins fan, I'm a little nervous about that.
No,
offense to
okay.
you.
I mean, I'll explain. He needed somewhere to work out, so I set him up at Pepperdine. I made some phone calls. He ended up pitching at Pepperdine in the offseason. Said he loved it. Workout facility, all that stuff. Man, if you're in LA and you need some help, you got to call.
Great update there.
The only thing that makes me nervous about Joe Ryan is that the new ABS strike zone, is there's something going on at the top of the zone, and that's where Ryan lives. So I just don't.
I don't on that pitch.
He does, and he's lived there for his whole life, so I think he has good command up there, and he can take advantage of it. But the new strike zone, there's some strikes to be had that have been called incorrectly on the corners, but the middle top is going to get lower. So some pitchers are like, oh, it's way lower, and it is a little bit lower now. But
I'm just so curious about all that, because I think what you're talking about, possibly that's like a Joe tapping his hat on that. I don't think there's going to be many hitters that are going to have the green light to actually do it. Like I'm curious how many challenges we're going to get per game. Are we going to get the 2 per game, and then maybe we see some in the 9th? Like I don't know how many we're going to see. The Brewers, they just had that card that they tried for like a day where they put the green. So it's a situation where the hitter was allowed to, and then a red if he wasn't. I
think they won't even need the cards, because they'll basically be like, don't do it until we tell you it's okay. Like later in the games and stuff. Yeah.
But they said they're not allowed to even do that. Like it has to be in the spirit of the rules. What Pat Murphy came out and said, they told him. So I'm wondering if they're even able to, they might have to have the third base coach be like,
make a sign.
No, not on this one. Yeah. But I do think there'll be not that many. In AAA, they had 2 overturned calls per game.
Okay.
So I think that's 4 challenges. It's 2 per team. That's going to be the average.
By the way, Joe Ryan ended up with a 3.4 last year. He had like 2 blow-up starts that really cost him in that category.
And
one was against the Royals. I wasn't calling that game. Whatever.
Chasing down the division with another team or something like that. We'll see. We love Joe Ryan. Man, you guys start breaking into ABS. I got my last pick here, and I'm kind of like, wait, I want to listen to what they're saying. That's going to be so much fun.
I mean, I think in the end, it'll be less of an impact on any given one pitcher or one hitter, because if you think about it, 2 per game, if he has 30 starts and there's like 1 challenge while he's pitching, it's like, how many? So 15 balls might get changed, or 20 calls might get changed on him in the entire season. I don't think that'll make or break a season.
Yeah, and then it's got to be in the situation, and it has to be a borderline pitch. And the numbers that have to go into that, you'd like to think aren't going to affect, but I don't know.
I just want some rogue hitter to challenge too many times, and the coach come out and say he's never allowed the challenge again. Can't wait. It's going to happen.
In ABS benching. That'll happen at some point, right? Man,
why is it going to be Jock Peterson? I don't know.
Wow. Man, when I was doing my lefty theory, I actually thought about rounding this out with Chris Sale, who got an extension this offseason. I'm gonna flip it, and I'll bring in my one righty, and I believe in strikeouts, and I believe in baseball players when they're pissy and they feel baseball being a bad time. I'll go Spencer Strider, man. He comes back last year. Doesn't get Spencer Strider results, man. A 4.45 ERA, 125 innings, but obviously he was coming off of injury. 2023, man, he won 20 games, 281 strikeouts. And I just think, again, kind of like I laid out, when you feel baseball being a bad time, and he gets his body back and he's a little built up and he's a little more healthy and ready to go, I'm just playing the strikeout game there. That I don't know. We kind of lost track of the whole Braves team for how bad they started last year. And I don't know. This guy was supposed to almost break baseball with the way he was striking people out. That maybe that comes back.
I mean, the velo was down like 2 miles an hour from that 2023 season, so maybe that's just it if he gets that back. But his fastball got crushed last year, absolutely demolished.
Yeah, I think the shape is back a little bit on his pitches, but the velo not quite. So I'm really interested to see what he's going to do this year. there's just such a, he's also spent all this time rehabbing where he's probably been focusing on his mechanics. He's been focusing on, secondary pitches, could be the best his curve or change looks this year, and that might be really meaningful for him to spread it back out and be more of a 4-pitch guy. I don't know that we're going to go back all the way to dominant 2-pitch Strider like he was when he first came up. That was amazing. That's where Chase gets to go this year, I think.
A lot of rehab on the arm, mechanics, skipping leg day. Is that what you're saying right now?
No.
I would love to see a measure off between Skeens and Strider on the quads.
He's got some quads on that guy.
Yeah.
Trev, you nailed it too originally when Strider came up, and his feet are just massive. It just feels like you like reset the video game or something. I don't think the graphics are right.
Like you put the wrong top on the wrong bottom. Yeah.
I guess
I'm so jealous of all your lefties though. Dude.
Thank you very much.
Look
yeah,
at that.
Part
Look
of
at all
me's
those
mad.
lefties. I don't have a single one.
Part of me is mad I didn't finish it with Sale. I also, like you mentioned Brian Wu on the way through. I think the one I was telling myself he was going to be my pick, Hunter Green. But again, we're sadly at this point playing injuries over performance, which I don't love that.
For my young guy, I was considering Yuri Perez.
Yeah.
And Jacob Mizorowski.
Yeah.
Just two guys
Mizorowski I
with
thought
filthy
about.
stuff.
What could you? Because I actually, talking to Dalton, who makes our sheet for the show, I was like, in my head, Yuri was my lock for hasn't received a pick. I guess give me a little something on Yuri. What wasn't there, or what should we be looking for? Because I just see a 6'8" monster.
No, he's amazing. I don't know exactly how many innings he'll throw. And then he had this weird thing where he gave up almost 2 homers per 9 on the road last year. I don't think that's a deal. I don't think he's just like a Miami guy. I think he'll iron all that out. But that's just the thing that happened last year that he needs to figure out.
Yeah, and we're only taking 15 guys here. So I know we always say, we left this guy off, we left that guy off. Like, Ranger Suarez hasn't received a Cy Young vote. Why isn't he in our draft? Like, it's 15 people.
Yeah. Gavin Williams, Hive, raise up. Yeah, we could if we start just throwing out names. I mean, Evaldi was insane last year.
Evaldi, DeGrom, not even mentioned in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The years. Cole Reagan bounce back.
How about this one for not mentioned? And I don't think. Oh, he did. Freddie Peralta got votes last year.
Fastball.
But
Freddie.
there's a guy who, even with the votes, he's going into a great stadium for his his abilities. Going to a top team, and he's been just a really steady performer actually. The last few years.
The innings thing, like they're kind of the Mets are potentially 1 year of him. Like let him go. They kind of need him to be the guy. All right, that rounds it out. Trev with Scooble, Logan Webb, McLean, Freed, Ryan, Eno, Paul Skinnes, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Hunter Brown, Logan Gilbert, and Chase Burns. Myself with Crochet, Christopher Sanchez, Mackenzie Gore, Framber Valdez, and Spencer Strider. Eno, this was awesome, dude. What else you got coming up that we should be looking for, or Rocky's front office, or what?
I'm actually holding out for expansion team. I think I think I'd like to join. I want to join an expansion team. I just think it'd be fun to build something up from where they're, you're not dealing with, the guys have always done it this way, just like.
Do you have aspirations for that?
Is Portland Eno how this all ends? God damn it.
I got real close. Yeah, I almost took a job.
Can't disclose.
I'm not gonna say it. But
what about Utah? It's me and you in Utah. We got that guy that owns all the sports teams up there. We in the summertime we're doing ball. Me and you are skiing together in Deer Valley in the winter.
That's it. Yeah, I like
it. There's some elevation stuff there, I think. Although Salt Lake's a valley, I don't know.
Yeah, that or Portland, man.
We'll have some time.
What do I have coming up? Yeah. I have my ranks coming up again. I'm gonna look at some young pitchers that are turning my heads this spring. In terms of stuff. Plus, like this guy Matthew Liberatore has been a guy that I've had my eye on, and he hasn't popped in the stuff model for a long time. He's just had a lot of pitches. He's got some refinement. He's the opening day starter for the Cardinals, and all of a sudden now, he's a top 10 guy by spring training stuff plus.
Wow. Yeah, and he former big prospect from the Rays. So if it comes together, and these goddamn lefties, and that's
right.
I did. And this is final. I think it was like the depths of winter baseball, and I was watching MLB Network, and I forget if it was Steve. It was one of the former GMs, and they were just like, lefties take a little more time to develop, and I was like, God damn it, I love it. That's so good. That was passed down from some GM in the 1970s that passed it down.
Oh my God, especially like long, lanky levers sometimes, it takes a while to put them in the right place.
Yes.
Wait, guys, we're going back to all this. All the analytics are bringing us back to old school baseball, baby. Put the ball in play. It works.
Have lots of pitches. Yeah. Is that crazy? No.
This might just work.
Yeah.
Dude, we just need a crusade against old announcers who are like analytics as like just a general like word that's like all encompassing. I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand how it doesn't register for these guys.
Hey, could they be like less negative about the game that we love? Like, aren't they paid to be the ambassadors? Like, let's be positive about the game we love,
Well, now that I'm getting national broadcast deals, maybe the new wave is coming.
Boy.
Yeah.
Should have ended it at the Salt Lake team. We're unabashedly Googled it to make sure I had that word like big Eno fans. Look forward to seeing you whenever we do see you, winter meetings, wherever we get to see you. And let's do this more. I don't know. We'll reach out.
I'm all right.
He's sick of podding.
I know.
No, I love it.
It's at Eno Sarris on all the socials, right?
Nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Eno. We're talking WBC powered by Amazon. Just like Amazon is ready to save the day when life throws you a curveball, let's talk about the game-saving moments from Pool D with Joez McFly. Joez McFly is live. I think David Ortiz is walking towards him right now. Joez, what's going on down there? He's waiting.
Edwin Encarnacion right there. Say what's up to me. Everything's great, man. It's kind of surreal what's going on right here, and the stadium's been awesome. I don't know how it's been at every other stadium, but over here it has been absolutely lit.
You fan base wise, obviously your DR has been repping strong. Heard great things about the Mexico squad. I think they're in Houston. What have you seen in Miami?
Miami has been great. Venezuela's audience has been awesome. Just a lot of different people are not afraid to show their culture, which is great. Outside of the stadium before every game, it's like whoever the home team is, they're playing like a lot of their songs and things like that, and that's great. It's like they're trying to showcase the culture. If there is one fan base I gotta give like a lot of props to, is definitely the Nicaraguense, like the Nicaragua crowd. They were super loud. In games like against the Dominican Republic, maybe they weren't the best per se, like DR won, but the crowd was so loud, especially early. My heart broke for them against the Netherlands. It really did.
Hey, Joez, are we getting like a ton of people like yourself, like Dominican Americans or Venezuelan Americans, or like people like traveling from Venezuela, traveling from the Dominican to be at the stadium?
Oh, yeah. I seen a guy that he said he came here from Spain. I seen somebody said that they came here from like all over the place.
That's amazing.
To be here. And that's pretty awesome. People from DR, which is not that far from, that's like DR is like a hop and a skip away to get here. But, just people trying to rep it, just be part of this vibe. And even people that have no teams here are like here just for the sake of, I think I seen like this Japanese couple, and they were like, yeah, let's go. De lo mio. I'm Japanese, but I love the Dominican.
What stealing fans?
Bro, I don't know what's going on. It's a vibe right now. It's a vibe. Oh my God.
What have your guys' game highlights been that you're down there? Who are you with from Jomboy Media?
I'm out here with. Oh man, that's an error version. I'm out here. It's looking crazy. I'm out here with Shelfie and Jimmy Norb, and shout out to the behind the scenes crew as well, like Ronnie and
Coach Kev.
I can't even think of everybody. Kevin is here, yes, and also Beyondy as well, and we're having a blast. It was so late. I got to extend my trip by 2 days.
Hey, Junior Caminero, is he the most electric player in the tournament right now? Like his emotion, his swing, everything. I feel like he's like kind of de facto becoming. He's not the face of the DR. He's not the face of the DR team. I know that, but is he like the star that's gonna like rise the most because of this tournament?
The emotional plug. You know what's funny? I was asking a couple of the players and a couple of the vets that were around. I was saying, how could this help somebody's development? And he's like, a lot. These is basically every single day is like high stakes situation and all of that stuff. So it's a lot of that stuff is experience that you're going to be getting. Come playoff time or come like big games that matter, because every game matters because you're playing for your country.
Joez, we'll get you out of here because you're quite literally at the game right now. Yeah. But you just mentioned you extended your trip. There's a big game Wednesday night.
Big time.
Can you lay it out for the people a little bit?
Listen, there was a rivalry. It's been a rivalry. It's been going back for a while. A couple of World Baseball Classics, and now everything's been building. I feel like that's been the storyline of this tournament. Venezuela, República Dominicana. Like, when are they going to meet? And they're going to meet tomorrow night at 8. And the fans want it from both sides. I've been here in Venezuela saying, yo quiero lo domi, which is they want the Dominicans, and the Dominican fans saying yo quiero Venezuela, which means that they want Venezuela. So I don't know. Someone's gonna have egg on their face. I just hope it's Venezuela.
Hey, Joe, as Team USA's representative, yo quiero lo domi, baby. That's all I want. That's all I want. Let's go.
Beat Mexico tonight, then we talk. All right. Mexico's not a slouch. Mexico's not a slouch. Respect.
Man, that's where this WBC, as we got some Joez McFly highlights in the crowd going right now. It feels like in a way it's been rolling, and it's like about to start. Puerto Rico, Cuba, U.S., Mexico, DR versus Venezuela. Will that Italy-U.S. game matter? And then that brings us to the quarter, semis, and finals.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
I mean, I wish I was here for those, but we will be streaming those, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Me and Mero are having a blast covering this on JM Baseball 2, and it's been fun, just bringing out like the fun part of everything. And they might hit a grand slam right here, right now. Got bases loaded, and they might mercy this game again. So it's been awesome. I just love this whole vibe and this tournament. Make sure let's figure out the Olympics. People took Bryce Harper's quotes way too out of context. I don't think he's not saying he doesn't like World Baseball Classic. He's saying that he wants the Olympics too. Figure it out. That's what he's saying.
Look at that.
Shout out to Swilly Deportes, by the way. Shout out to Swilly Deportes, right?
you gotta teach her some Espanol, man. She needs it.
She's Mexican. I know Mexicans that look exactly like her, by the way. Exactly. From the eyes to everything, by the way. So
that tight Joe shot is killing me. Joez McFly live from the scene. If, like he mentioned, if you haven't seen his show with Mero yet, 10 out of 10 entertainment, all the stuff on social media. Thank you, Joseph. Go enjoy the rest of your time in Miami.
This will be good. I won't miss the Grand Slam. República Dominicana. Damelu.
And thank you to our partners at Amazon. Shop Amazon. Save on the essentials. Save the everyday. Honestly, Coach, I kind of want to hear a couple of your WBC thoughts. We haven't really talked WBC. What do you got? I don't even want to tee it up more than that.
It's been great. I mean, the storylines are there. The emotion is there. And I'm not even talking about like the nature of which the Latin American teams play with, which is obviously electric and really good for the sport. I'm talking about, the other side of it. The Nicaraguan pitcher that gives up the homer to the Netherlands, like that emotion there. We heard reports of Travis Bassana not even being able to talk after Australia loses that game to Korea by just enough runs so they don't advance. Like, it just means so much, and you can really, really see it in the gameplay. And you're right, Coach. pool play has been fantastic, dude. It's somehow like we're still getting entertaining games, even though clearly there's talent level discrepancies between some of these squads. We're still getting entertaining games and moments, which I think are a massive part of the WBC. Once the quarterfinals start, it's going to be so good. And this is where I disagree with Joe's a little bit about Harper's comments. And if you didn't see him, I mean, basically he just said, hey, the WBC is great, but it's not the Olympics. I know more eyeballs globally are on the Olympics, but I think the Olympic Committee did us dirty. And I don't think that we need to, reward them. We built this ourselves. We built the WBC and it's flourishing. So I know that he wants to talk about getting guys in that 2028 Olympics in LA. I'm down with that. But the timing of it is bad. Like, we don't need to talk about it right now. Like, just wait. Like, we're in the middle of something that's extremely popular. That's really pushing our sport into new levels. I think that it's just, bad, unfortunate timing. I'm not like faulting Bryce for it. I just didn't think it was the right time to bring it up. But I mean, I've been glued. I'm trying to like sometimes I try to shelter myself from baseball when we're not in the season because we have to watch so much baseball. But I can't. It's like hard to look away from these games. They're so good. I'm planning my evenings around them. I'm telling my friends, you got to watch this game. Like it's something like I don't usually do. As far as like really telling, hey, you got to watch this matchup. I don't say that until the playoffs of Major League Baseball. So it's different, man.
Yeah, I've loved it. Watching Canada-Panama last night, and you've got old dog James Paxton grinding out there. He looks great.
He's not that old.
I know. Technically retired. I mean, Trev, this is literally if you were like, you know what? Team France is calling. I'm going to man the hot corner for a week and play against all these dudes. Like,
Vance Worley is throwing up zeros against the U.S.
There was who was the other Canadian reliever that came in and closed the game? I just talked about him on Wake and Jake, former
Surely
MLB
not
guy.
Axford, although he should be there.
No, it wasn't Axe Daddy. Who was it? I have the Canadian pitcher list.
Like
up,
Chelsea
obviously.
Cuthbert is out there for Nicaragua?
Philippe Aumont retired in 2019 on his farm, came out just to shut it down for a little bit.
Is Oliver Perez not on Team Mexico? Because he should be.
He's there in some way. No, I really enjoy, especially because so the teams that are getting housed right now, like Brazil's baseball program isn't here yet. And hopefully, again, with the WBC and hopefully the Olympics in a few years, those other countries get there. But like, honestly, Canada's perfect for me because I've got enough major leaguers between Tyone, Soroka. I've got enough like prospecty guys like Gene, who was pitching for them last night, 7th round pick for them. Bradfield Jr. running around in the like that Canada-Panama game was a perfect example of just like the right amount of talent on the field, this funky matchup, playing for the countries. And yeah, you're mentioning the tears and the sadness. I mean, Chinese Taipei crying because Taiwan depends who's saying it. World Baseball Classic. I know that like they cried after winning just to stay alive. Like they weren't advancing, but they had hope. And like, I don't know, you don't get that everywhere. So it's
Joseph Contreras. Now, son of a big leaguer. He's in high school in Georgia. He's a senior in high school, and he's pitching against Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, like the who's who of the big leagues. He's in high school.
I know.
You don't get that. And he was successful.
Yeah, got him. Got him. I think it's also the other perspective I do like. Here's Philippe Aumont. Got his 2 chickens in his hand and left. I guess it also brings into perspective how, and Trev, maybe this is where you can walk tall after this, how good you have to be a major leaguer when it's like, oh yeah, this guy's he never made it past AA. He throws 93, or he always had major league defense, but he could never hit a curveball. Like it's such a tough sport. You have to hit on basically every note. it was cool reading up on Jared Young from Canada yesterday. I know he's back in the bigs, but like his story is pretty wild. Every one of these guys' story is pretty wild, and I guess that's kind of the beauty of it.
It's they've done a really good job of capturing stories and moments, and I think that's what resonates, especially gets traction online. That's kind of the society we live in now. Like, you got to have some clips, man. Either the Shohei Grand Slam clip, like the amount of views that thing got, that was a big topic. But moments are so good in the WBC that we're talking. I mean, I told Chris Rose this morning, like, think about like the people that are covering this that don't usually cover baseball.
Yeah.
Like, the Pat McAfee show is just all over it with this. There was a crazy story about him and like getting Logan Webb. They were like on a tour bus together, and he was like, "You got to play for Team USA." Like, so shout out Pat McAfee. Even like a Barstool Sports, they don't really cover baseball. Like they're talking about it on some of their big shows, and it's like, that's what this does, man. It just opens the world to like this beautiful game, and we're on such a earmuffs.
Woo!
We're on such a fucking hot streak in this game. What are they gonna do after this season? You tell me right now. Look me in the eye. All you owners and Rob Manfred, look me in the eye and tell me you're gonna stop games with the fucking heater that we're on right now. You can't. Do not do that.
I agree with me. Trevor Plouffe, thank you. Everyone go tweet or give Eno some love. That Puerto Rico walk-off was insane. Joez McFly, our eye in the sky. We'll be back. It's almost baseball. What are we doing? It is baseball.
Jake sucks.
Let me give you a couple of these Canadian coaches, Trev. Hitting coach Justin Morneau. Pitching coach Paul Quantrill.
Yep.
First base coach Russell Martin. Third base coach Stubby Clapp. Does it get better?
It does not.
I mean, it does.
Just the ball talk going on in there.
Oh.
Kike's been to 5 World Series. He said WBC is better.
Whoops.